So, guys, I have been inducted into the Women's Guild of the Anglican Women Community. Welcome, and welcome once again to today's video. I remain your ever loyal girl, Alaribe Victoria, aka Chat with V. And of course, you know the tradition. If you are just seeing my face for the first time, one day, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Now, let me tell you something. The other day, somebody was like asking me, what does it really mean to subscribe? It's not difficult. She was thinking that when they say subscribe to my channel, it simply means you're going to be paying some money, or maybe it's just like subscribing to your Go TV or your DSTV channel or something. No, 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 far from it. On your screen, you will see where is being written subscribe. That subscribe is just like follow my page. It helps you, to get notifications whenever there's a new video, posted by the person you're following. YouTube will notify you and let you know, okay, there is something, out there for you to, look at. You understand? So it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be paying for it, or when they say subscribe, it simply means you're subscribing to maybe your DSTV channel. No, 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 it's way, way far from it. And of course, if you have been following me on this channel, my love for you knows no bound. You're welcome. So on today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys the update, or an update of my induction. I recently got inducted into the WG, Women's Guild of the Anglican communities, or the Anglican Church. So I'll be taking you through the journey and everything you need to know concerning what it entails for you to be an inducted or a bona fide member of the Women's Guild community. Stay tuned. For those of you who already know me, and for those of you who are also following me for the first time, I will just give you a background knowledge about myself. Now, I am a woman who was born and raised in the Catholic Church. Like, I was born and raised in the Catholic community. Everything I used to know before now was Catholic. My father was a fourth degree knight. We have a reverend sister who is now a mother general. And also, in fact, my history, everything about me is just Catholic based. So my grandfather was the first catechist in my home parish, Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Umule, Okwala. From the story we were told, when we were growing up, we were told by our parents and even by our grandparents that my grandfather was the first person, or was the first man, who brought the Catholic Church into my community, thereby making him the first, you know, catechist of that parish. So everything about me has always been Catholic. My parents are devoted Catholic members. We, the children, myself and my siblings, we were also devoted Catholic members. But here we are. here we are. Yeah, so when I was going to get married to my husband is an Anglican and also a committed Anglican member. Personally, I don't think I care so much. Yeah, since the Catholic brothers did not see a fine, beautiful, well deserving, packaged. If I don't know what other adjective to qualify myself right now. Since they were there, something covered their eyes. They were not seeing very well. An Anglican brother had to come and carry me from the Catholic Church. Not be my fault now. Not be my fault. Yeah. So when my husband came to marry me and I inquired from him, I was like, "What church do you attend?" And he told me that he was an Anglican. And he didn't even sound like his own Anglican is the type that they used to play around with. I say, hey, Okbari, I don't enter. Yeah, I had dated a Catholic guy in the past that I actually thought was going to work, but at the end of the day, God had much more better plans for me. Yeah, so when my husband said he was Anglican, personally, I didn't mind. But I was only a little bit. I was like, how am I going to present this to my parents? Telling them that you know the man I want to get married to is an Anglican man. But I thank God I have very, very understanding parents, even though my larger family, when they heard that my husband was an Anglican, they were like, so you did not see any Catholic brother, Chinwe, our daughter. So you did not see any Catholic brother after serving in the Catholic church all your life. You did not see any Catholic brother to bring home for us. I was like, it's not my fault now. It is love. When my parents, first met my husband, they were just okay with him. Like it was a 9.5 over 10 for them. They loved him already, and in fact, they fell in love with his personality and everything about him. So for them, it was about where our daughter will go to and have peace. And after they assessed my husband, they were like, this guy will make a good husband for our daughter. So him being an Anglican right now wasn't the issue. It was no longer the bone of contention. It was about the happiness and the peace of mind of their daughter. Even though growing up as a teenage girl, I've always lost this this feeling and this thought of wearing the prestigious signature CWO wrapper and China white blouse. Man, whenever I see like young women or young ladies, very, very young ladies, maybe who got married quite early, wearing that signature CW wrapper, I'm like, oh my God, when? God, when? As God may have it, God made everything perfect the way He actually thought that it was going to be the best for me. So that brings us back to the actual gist for the day, my journey into the Women's Guild of the Anglican women community. So when I initially joined the Anglican church, that was after my wedding, I noticed that the women had two major uniforms. They had the one where they wear the green wrapper and a China white blouse, and they also have the women who wore the China white blouse and a blue wrapper. So on my own, I was trying to figure out like how come in one church or in one Anglican as a whole, we have two categories of women: those who do green wrapper and China white blouse, and those who do the blues. I was curious. I was asking, how is it being done? What is it really about? Mind you, this is making it 6 whole years after my wedding that I'm, taking part in the induction process. That is because I hadn't the time all these years. The kind of job I used to do then did not give me time to, venture into other things, but it's a lot more flexible now. So this year I said I would make sure I partake in the induction ceremony. So that was why I had to take part in this year's induction. So yeah, I kept asking my husband that question, why is it like this and why is it like that? I don't think I actually got, you know, the proper explanation from him until I approached some other women who, I got to meet right there in the Anglican church, and they were able to like throw more light on the reason why some women used the green wrapper while the others used the blue wrapper. So the WG in the Anglican church simply stands for Women's Guild. Now, who can be part of the Women's Guild? The Women's Guild are the people who wear the China white and the green wrapper with a matching green scarf. Now, these are women who are old enough to be married. Maybe you're old enough to be married as a woman and somehow you are not married. Okay? You can belong to the Women's Guild, which is the WG. Another set of women who can belong to the WG are women who are not wedded. Even if you're married and you are not wedded in the Anglican Church, the WG department is for you. Okay. Another set of women who can belong to the WG are women who are living with a man. Maybe somehow maybe they do small thing for your head. Let me use that term. Maybe they do small thing for your head. Maybe you're not properly married, and somehow instead of living with a man, started bearing children for him. And just so that you don't, you're not just cut out completely, you can also belong to the WG department of the Women's Association. Okay, so another set of women who belong to this WG group are the women who are divorced. Maybe somehow you got married, the marriage did not work, and all that, and you got divorced, then you belong to the WG Women Department of the Anglican Women Community. So for those women who wear China white and the blue wrapper, these are women who are properly married traditionally and also wedded in the Anglican Church. The moment you are properly married and wedded in the Anglican Church, then you belong to the MU. The MU simply means Mothers Union. That is the way, in fact, once you see any woman who is tying the signature Anglican blue wrapper, that means that woman is fully and properly wedded in the Anglican Church. So for those of us who are just starting, we are also expected to start from the WG. Then from there, we'll now progress to the MU. For me personally, I was properly married. I got married traditionally. I got married legally. I got married in church. But I cannot just jump from wherever I have been straight to the MU. I still have to pass through the WG, do the whole induction and then look forward to another induction into the Mothers Union, which is the MU. So you can do it a year after or depending whenever you have the chance to. Okay, I look forward to also having mine done next year. So I just know that okay, I'm done with the whole induction process. Now, unlike what we have in the Catholic Church, when you get married, you join the CW group. Either you join the subgroups like the Saint Monica, Saint Perpetual, Saint Teresa, Saint Anne's, and all that. What we do in the Anglican Church is you are going to undergo a training that would first of all qualify you to be a member of the WG. You don't just get married and then you just join the WG like that. So before you are even qualified to join the WG, you must first of all attend trainings. You will go for classes, induction classes, where you'll be trained, you'll be taught. Like for us, we did our own class for about 1 month. Our classes, held on Thursdays and on Saturdays, where you'll be taught about everything you need to know about the WG. You'll be taught about what is expected of you as a woman, a virtuous woman, and everything around it. We usually go through that training, we go through that class for about a month, and this whole thing takes place
So
during
today
the
happens to be
women's
the
conference. So
last
this is
day
one of the
of
activities
our
that takes place during
WGFAX.
the
Can you believe
women's
that?
conference. The thing is, you cannot do both WG induction and Mothers Union induction at the same time. That's why when I put out the video, you notice that during our induction, so women were wearing green and white, which was our own set. We also had women who were on blue and white. Those ones have already done their own, WG. So maybe some years back or maybe last year, and they're having their own MU induction done. So you can't do both at the same time. It's after you are done with one that you can now face the other one, where you will also have to undergo rigorous trainings on what it entails to be part of the Mothers Union of the Anglican Church. So after we got done with our class, that ran for about a month, we did an examination with our vicar's wife, where we came together, questions were asked. If you peradventure fail any of these interviews or examination, you'll be asked to withdraw and maybe try again next year. So it's not a joke. After our exam with our vicar's wife, there was also an examination, that was, given to us by our bishop's wife. If you peradventure fail any of the exams, whether at your parish level or at the diocese level, just just use your own hand and withdraw from the whole process, and maybe try again next year, because it's not a joke. It's not something that you just play around with. So it's until you have been able to successfully pass all your exams, all your tests, all your interviews, that is when you can now be qualified for the induction proper on the big day. Even on the day of induction, the bishop himself, in the person of Right Reverend Innocent U. Odu, JP, DSSRS. Yes, he's the bishop of the Diocese of Evo. Even on the day of induction, the bishop will still interview the women. If God help you and you are picked and you're not able to answer the bishop's question, you might have to try again next year or any other time you feel ready for the process.
In the light of the theme of this year's conference, we pray that you will use your word to equip us.
That was what it was like. It was a lot. Honestly, it was a lot, but it was actually worth it. It was worth it. So, on the induction day proper, it was a very big event. And that event held at St. Philip's Anglican Church, Origwe. That was where we were inducted. The bishop was there. The priests, in their numbers, they were there to accompany the bishop. There were women from different, Anglican churches, not just my parish, almost, for we're more than 10 parishes. It was a huge event, a very huge one. Like, I wasn't thinking it was going to be something that big, but actually it was. So the induction was a success, and we thank God, and I feel very excited about it. I honestly look forward to my MU induction come next year by the special grace of God. I'll still take us on the journey when it's time. I'll definitely carry us along to really show you guys everything and how it's been done. Another beautiful thing that made this whole process very easy for me is the fact that my husband is very supportive. He's very respectful of my faith. Yes, he knows very well that I'm a core Catholic girl, and he also respects the fact that I try to strike a balance in everything that I do. As a matter of fact, my husband also loves the Catholic Church. My husband is somebody who, as I talk to you, he doesn't joke with the Blessed Sacrament. In fact, as a family, if we want to have our family time, if we want to have our quiet time with God, we usually visit the Blessed Sacrament. We go to the chapel together. He believes in the rosary. He believes in everything that we do. So it's not a matter of because you are now an Anglican, because I married into the Anglican church. So therefore, you have no business. No, 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 my husband doesn't do that. So we're also going to be getting a certificate of induction into the WG. So when it's ready, they will get it across to us. So I want to appreciate everybody who made my induction process, a smooth sail. My husband. Also thank my teacher, the my pastor's wife who tutored us during our induction classes, Mrs. Happiness Hosted. She's such an amazing woman. She took us all through our classes. I also want to thank our vicar's wife, Dr. Mrs. Ada Ifoma Modi. Yeah, she was also very supportive, always encouraging, always advising, always encouraging us to study. Also, my friends, my new friends that I made during the induction classes, you know yourselves. Yeah, so I also appreciate you guys for making the journey a smooth and an interesting one. So guys, this brings me to the end of this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you also enjoyed this video. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching this video. I don't know. I don't feel like going, but I have to go. So bye for now as we look forward to the next one.